Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Adrian Fields. I'm an expat entrepreneur currently living in Lisbon. So today's video is just going to be a vlog style format. Today is Sunday, already early afternoon. To be honest, I've just gotten out of bed. I think it's around 1 o'clock, and I was out last night partying, and today I just kind of am going to take you through what a normal Sunday might look like for me here in Lisbon. Sundays tend to be my least favorite days of the week. There's just something a little bit morbid about a Sunday because usually people have been out partying the night before, and then a lot of things are closed on a Sunday, so you just kind of don't know what to do, and I'm not someone who really likes to just sit around. So we're gonna start today with a very belated breakfast. I mean, it's really lunchtime, but let's call it brunch. And this is, I alternate recently between a few different breakfasts here in Lisbon. I've been cooking a lot for myself, so I actually made a video about the pancakes, the protein pancakes. I've gotten much better at making them since that first attempt. I had that for breakfast yesterday, so instead today I'm going to make a scrambled eggs and avocado. This is something that I make quite often because it is full of protein and calories, and you know, one of my priorities is really trying to at least maintain my weight, if not gain more muscle, which for my body is very, very challenging. So I wanted to also just kind of get on here and talk in general about what life has been like, because it's been a month since I made any videos, and the last one wasn't that topical about life in Lisbon. So, you know, as it goes, as life has been happening here, I'm still kind of feeling like I'm in a transition phase. One of the reasons being that I'm still waiting for my residency card to arrive, and next week will mark 3 months since my CEF appointment. And at that appointment, they had told me that the card should arrive within 3 months. So basically on Monday, tomorrow, I'm going to email the CEF office and say, hey, what's up? It's been 11 weeks, no card, you know, when is this going to arrive? Not because, you know, I am planning to travel anywhere outside of Portugal for the moment, but, you know, I just want to feel settled. Like, I don't like having these unresolved issues, and then furthermore, I sort of need to have this card in order to do some of the other bureaucratic things that need to be done here. So it's again representative of the timeline of how things can sometimes happen here in Portugal. Very slow, frustratingly slow, to be honest. Like, I don't understand why it takes 3 months to print out a card when you've already gone through the process of being approved for a visa in your home country and then gone to the CEF and given your biometric data, and like, you know, it doesn't seem like it needs to take this long, and for some people it doesn't. It's always very variable, like everything here, where some people, they have their CEF appointment and poof, 2 weeks later their card arrives in the mail. Me, you know, going on 3 months. I have a friend whose card took 4.5 months. And again, this is like abusive, because generally you need this card if you want to be traveling outside of Portugal, especially if you would be transiting in a different Schengen country in or out of Europe. You know, when you just have your passport, they would see, oh, this person is overstayed. If you're just traveling in and out of Portugal directly, it's not a problem, because the paper that they give you at your CEF appointment is recognized by the immigration here. So like, for example, let's say, hypothetically, I wanted to go to London and I was flying directly from Lisbon to London. Not a problem. But let's say I wanted to go to, hypothetically, Bali, and I had a flight that was going through Paris. Then it would be a problem, because the other Schengen countries would not recognize the fact that I have residency in Portugal because I don't have that card yet. So again, just kind of these annoying things. And then furthermore, I'm still waiting as well on my SNS number. That's the healthcare number. I sent an email requesting this over a month ago and still have not received, you know, any word back on that. I mean, again, this was something where they said it could take 2 months. But you know, when they say 2 months, that could also be 4 months. I feel like you kind of have to chase these things and chase people down here when you want to get something done. So I don't like that, to be honest. I find that the bureaucracy and the things that I have to do here is very annoying. There's something called a NIS. It's a social security number. And I had to request this via email. And the email said, okay, your NIS is generated, but you need to go and pick it up in person at a social security office. And you can call this number to make an appointment so you don't have to wait in line. So I was putting this off for a month because the anxiousness that I was feeling of having to make a phone call and make an appointment with a person in Portuguese was a lot. I mean, my Portuguese has come along, but it's always harder when you're speaking on the phone versus in person. But, you know, finally I did it, and I was proud of myself. I made the call in Portuguese, and long story short, like, they gave me an appointment for a month in the future. So again, this is something that's just like, how can it take 1 month to get an appointment at a social security office? And again, this is just to pick up a piece of paper that has a number on it, like as if they couldn't find a better system to do this. So, you know, these are the things that I don't love about the European system, in Portugal in particular, about, you know, the bureaucracy. But I guess you take the good with the bad. So on a non, you know, paperwork, bureaucratic front, I would say life is pretty good. I, you know, am achieving my desired goal in terms of moving here, about dating and meeting people and doing all of these things. You know, this is a big motivation for why I left Bali, was the feeling that I didn't have an interesting social life. I was becoming hermetic in my villa. And here, you know, as I said last night, I went out the weekend before. I also went out to an amazing party. It was the best party that I had ever been to in Lisbon, at this place called Palácio do Grillo. This like 18th century palace that now they host these parties and dinners. And there was a sort of gay party, and it was really just so much fun. Like, I had a bunch of friends that were there, and the music was good, and the crowd was good, and the space was incredible. And it was just one of these nights where I felt like, wow, I'm so happy about my decision to have moved here, to have these kinds of experiences, you know, that I really wanted to have. And, you know, I actually went back there yesterday, trying to relive the same magic, but the party wasn't, unfortunately, as good as it was the week before. So sometimes these things can be hit or miss. But, you know, I'm happy at least to have the opportunity and to have the motivation to actually go out and party and meet people and, again, just be social, because that's really what I moved here for. Another big thing has been my discovery that Amazon delivers to Portugal. So since that discovery about a month ago, I've been ordering a lot of stuff on Amazon España, having delivered here, even furniture, because, you know, my apartment is semi-furnished at this point and very minimally decorated, but there are just some things that, you know, you can really only find on Amazon when it comes to like random stuff. And again, like, Portugal doesn't have a huge amount of choice in terms of especially furniture and other things. So I'll show you, when I turn the camera around after I finish my breakfast, some of the things that I've bought recently that I'm quite happy with, that are making my house start to feel really more homey, you know, more like a home. And now that we're going into the fall season, and, you know, feeling like you want to nest and be cozy, it's really important to me that my home, you know, be a place that I want to spend time, and it's like a sanctuary. And actually, to that effect as well, I've been having people over, I've been cooking for them, which is crazy. Like I've said many times before, I never used to cook my whole life, and it's something that I've really enjoyed. And again, this is kind of thanks to Amazon, because I was able to buy stuff, you know, to cook the food that I like to cook, like Asian food, for example. I bought oyster sauce and fish sauce on Amazon, so I've been making pad thai, and another one of my favorite Thai dishes called pad krapao. It's like a minced savory chicken with basil and rice. I bought a rice cooker. So I had a friend over, I made dinner for them last night, and the night before that I also had a friend over and made dinner for her. And I love that. I really enjoy having people over my home and sharing a meal together. It's something that I think is really nice to share and something that I've never been able to do before because I never cooked. So I'm also really enjoying, I'm learning, different Italian dishes. I'm making my own fresh pesto, like a traditional pesto with pine nuts, basil, olive oil, lemon zest. And am I missing any ingredients? Parmigiano, obviously. And my Italian friend Fabrizio told me, the proper pasta to eat with pesto is called trofie, and I was able to find that in a market here called Sao Bento Market. It's a little tiny upscale grocery store, and they have pasta imported directly from Italy. I think my next step will be actually learning how to make my own pasta, which is, according to YouTube at least, very easy. Sometimes pasta is just semolina, flour, and water, and mix that together. So, I'm able to indulge in these different kinds of new hobbies and things and really create a new version of myself, since I want to be, the best possible version of me in general. And I'm enjoying, this kind of new life that is very different from a life that I had anywhere. I mean, whether it was Bali, Thailand, Mexico, the United States, I never had a life exactly kind of the way that I'm living these days. So, all right, breakfast is ready. It doesn't look like anything that special, but again, it's nutritious and it tastes pretty good. So we have some whole wheat bread with butter and avocado smeared on, and then a scrambled eggs of Gouda and some turkey breast that has all been mixed together. So let me have breakfast, and then I will show you around the apartment of some things that are new, and then I think after that we'll see where the day takes us. So as I said, I wanted to show off how my apartment is coming along these days. There hasn't been a huge change, but I'll just show you, maybe since the last time I gave a tour of this apartment, if I ever gave one, some of the new additions. These poofs I added, and then this poof thing also arrived recently from Amazon. And then this chair, which I really have been waiting for so long to put something in this corner. I still need a side table next to it, and then, be able to sit there and maybe have tea or whatever the case is. And the plants, I just feel that really the chair has helped bring this area together a lot more. So, if I'm not in my bedroom, obviously the place that I spend the most amount of time is here in the living room watching TV. I also just realized very recently that when you have Mio, the internet here, you also have access to free cable, but I only turned on the box, or plugged it into my TV rather, 2 weeks ago when I wanted to watch the final of the US Open. And poof, I have access to a bunch of channels that I didn't even realize that I could. So that was also a nice bonus. Around here in the living room, nothing has changed. As you can see, my bookshelf, or this armoire, is still tragically empty. It needs to be filled with some objet d'art. And then here in the bathroom, I was quite happy to, this chair arrived yesterday only, or 2 days ago maybe now. I just wanted something, I know it's really extra to put a chair like this in your bathroom, but the reality is that this bathroom, you can't tell, but it's really extremely spacious. It's a very large bathroom, so it's kind of nice to have a chair to either throw your clothes on, just wait as the bath is filling, and then also this little stool which flips over so that if I want to be in the bathtub and watch something on my iPad, you can just turn that over and then make it like a little table. But I like having that space there to sit and do my, toiletries and everything in the morning. In terms of the bedroom, nothing really has changed. I still want to replace all of this ugly IKEA furniture. The only thing is that this same poof I have here as well, because actually they sent me two by accident. And so that's kind of the updated apartment tour. There's no point to show you the other room, which is my office / studio, because there's actually nothing in it other than a desk. And there's still a long way to go for the decoration of that. Anyway, I'm gonna now finally wash my face, brush my teeth, get ready to present myself, to the world basically. And I want to go for a little bit of some retail therapy, which I'm going to take you along for, even though I get very embarrassed to be bringing along this camera, and especially vlogging like in public makes me just feel like such a poseur, you know, like such a, I don't like this. I want to just like live in the moment necessarily. When I'm walking around with the camera, it always draws attention in a way that I kind of feel embarrassed. But anyway, I'm gonna overcome that feeling so that I can just bring you along with me and show you something of the world outside of my apartment, which I haven't done for a long time. And a lot of you have said to me that you would like to see more of Lisbon and not just of my face. So I will try to make good on that promise today and just kind of show you again what my day hypothetically or on a typical Sunday, whatever it might look like. All right, I'm outside. The sun is right behind me. I should actually be walking backwards for you guys to have a better view, at least of my face. But today, despite being October 1st, the weather is going up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which I checked according to Siri is 32 Celsius. So it's still very, very hot in Lisbon. Yesterday I spent the day by the pool at the clubhouse called Nino that I've mentioned before on this channel. I spent a lot of the summer there at that pool. The clubhouse is so-so. I actually canceled my membership because with the end of summer, there's really no point to be a member anymore. I'm so embarrassed to be talking in the street, like on a busy street like this, with people watching, but I'm really gonna try to get over my embarrassment about this so that I can bring you along. But for now, I'm gonna turn off the camera until we get to Embaixada, which is just a 1-minute walk from my house. I live in a neighborhood called Príncipe Real, and it's my favorite neighborhood in Lisbon. It's really beautiful, as you can see, but again, a lot of people, and I'm very embarrassed. This is one of my favorite shopping places in Lisbon. It is full of Portuguese brands, and I mentioned this before, but wherever I am in the world, I really like to shop local, meaning like things that are designed and produced in the country where I'm living. So I've discovered some great brands thanks to Embaixada. There's a great shoe store in here that has only Portuguese brands. Portugal, by the way, is quite famous for shoe manufacturing, really good quality shoes here. And then another brand that I love called Isto. I bought a lot of stuff from them, and I'm gonna go into their shop now. Very nice classic pieces that are really timeless, made here in Portugal. And let's go have a look. So I've tried on 2 different items. This is a recycled wool, really classic jacket. I want it in the navy, but they don't have my size here in the navy, so I tried it in this charcoal. And then another pair of these chinos. I have them in a stone color, but I want them in another color for fall. And they're just really nice. It's organic cotton, and the cut is really good for me. As a short person, it can be hard to find clothes that, you know, fit nicely. In Bali, I used to have all my clothes tailored for me, but obviously that's not an option here in Portugal. So to find a brand that I actually really like, I like their ethics, their values, and the style, makes me very happy. So I highly recommend to check out this brand, Isto, isto.pt. All right, now I'm walking the other direction and the sun is smack in my face. So I stopped home to just drop off the shopping from Isto. I ended up getting the pair of chinos and the belt. I really loved both the sweater and a kind of a polo sweater that I tried on, but you know, when it's 90 degrees outside, I don't really feel like I need to be shopping for merino wool sweaters like that. I can take a beat on and buy when it's actually sweater weather. So after I stopped home, or while I stopped home, I also took my plastic shopping bag because now I'm going to go to the supermarket called Continente. That's how I say it because I'm a wannabe Brazilian. In Portuguese, they would say continente. but isn't it so much more fun to say continente? I love the Brazilian accent so much. And I've been quite lazy with my Portuguese recently, to be honest, because I got to a point where I felt like, okay, I can express enough for the day-to-day things that I need to do, but certainly not profound enough to, like have friendships exclusively in Portuguese, because I'm too limited in that case. And in fact, over the last month, I've sort of rededicated myself to relearning Italian, which is a language that I had studied in high school and university, and one that I just love. I mean, I'm really obsessed with Italian culture, with food. I love the language, the sound, the musicality of it, which, is also why I like the Brazilian version of Portuguese. I feel like the sounds are a bit more melodic, and that's what I like in a language. So yeah, I know I need to get back to my Portuguese. It's obviously important living here to, speak fluently the language. Portugal is going to be my home for a long time, and so I know that I need to make the effort, but I also kind of just feel like a little bit by osmosis, I know it's going to sink in with my brain because I won't really have much of a choice. And I mean, I haven't been actively studying, but I've been passively studying in the sense that I've been watching some Brazilian TV shows on Netflix, like Amor às Cegas, which is the Brazilian version of Love is Blind. I also watched The Circle Brazil, like really stupid reality TV shows, but these kinds of shows are, I thought I had stopped recording. Anyway, these kinds of shows are actually really helpful when you want to learn a language because you're listening to colloquial conversations. It's not like when you're watching a drama series or something. I find them much harder to follow because the language tends not to be as, everyday, sort of the way that people are actually talking. So that is what I've been doing. I just have so many languages in my head. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to remind people who don't know, so with Italian and Portuguese, that makes 6 languages for me. Obviously English, French is my second language because I went to school there. Spanish I learned living in Mexico and then later spending time in Spain. And Indonesian. And then we have Spanish, or rather, the heat is getting to my head. Then we have Portuguese and Italian, so it's a lot. So we're now walking through one of my absolute favorite places, not just in my neighborhood, but in all of Lisbon, called Praça das Flores. And it is the cutest little European square you have ever seen.
Say that I got stuck in it. I didn't want to
Nossa, gente, it is so hot outside. Oh my God. I didn't even have to walk far, but 10 minutes in that heat, and I live at the top of the hill. Like that last stretch of going up. Oh, that's the thing about Lisbon. It is so hilly, and I walk everywhere. And as I said, it's incredibly warm today. Oh, wow, I am truly very, very tired from that excursion. But I got the essentials, every time really I buy the same kinds of things for the basics, my staples, the eggs, protein powder, bananas, orange juice, which reminds me I didn't take my vitamins today, so I want to take them now. And lots and lots and lots of basil these days because I use it to make the pesto. I use it to make the pad krapau, the holy basil Thai dish that I think I mentioned earlier. Oh my God. So I also need to restock my agua de Jamaica, something that I make fresh almost every day that my housekeeper in Bali used to make for me, and that though I discovered when I was living in Mexico, that is rosella tea, hibiscus. I buy the dried hibiscus flowers and then put in cinnamon and fresh lemon, and it is very, very refrescante, especially on a hot, hot day like this. Wow. All right. So what am I doing? I'm collecting myself. So I'm going to put away my groceries, which I've almost now finished doing. And then I'm walking to the Jardim, the Estrela Garden. I'm going to be meeting my friend Cleo there, my French friend who I met here. We were introduced through a mutual friend that we know in Paris. But she actually is sadly leaving. She already had left and then she came back just for a few days. but is moving away from Portugal, so it's probably the last time I'm going to see her in a very, very long time. And it's just kind of one of these things. I'm a little bit sad, you know? I need to get a drink right now. Wait 1 second, guys. Okay. Lisbon certainly is not as transient as a place like Bali, but nonetheless, there is still an amount of coming and going of people like Cleo, and I have another friend, Fabrizio, that went back to Italy. You know, and it's kind of sad because you discover people you like, you spend time with them, and then they leave. And then you're kind of at square one with needing to make new friends again. So, I'm gonna catch my breath. Then I will take you along with me to the garden to meet Cleo. She's probably camera shy. I don't know if she'll want to be in this video or not, but we'll see. Maybe we can convince her for, you know, for a memory so that we can savor this last moment together. So I'm with Cleo, but she, as expected, really doesn't want to be filmed. So here you can see her arm. She can wave to the camera. She's so camera shy, but she's actually very beautiful. Can I just show your face? Come on, just say hello. Dis bonjour. Dis bonjour, je veux que les gens sachent que j'ai des amis français et que je parle français. Hein.
No.
At least, dis-leur que je parle bien français en anglais. Tell
He
them.
speaks very well French.
Come. Well, the fact that I only got 3 hours of sleep last night definitely caught up to me. It's now 8 o'clock and I've started preparing my dinner for tonight. I was actually just lying down in bed for the last hour because as soon as I got back from my date with Cleo, I was just, I don't know, I'm losing the words because I'm so tired right now, but I was just exhausted and I had to lie down, and then I started thinking about, okay, what am I gonna make for dinner tonight with what I already have in the refrigerator. So since I have chicken and I have broccoli and I always have rice, I'm going to be making a kind of a Buddha bowl with brown rice and some glazed chicken and broccoli with avocado. So simple, healthy. I realize I haven't eaten today since breakfast. I just think that my whole body and mind are kind of messed up from having slept so little. So, you know, it was a fine Sunday. I'm glad that I was a bit social. I'm glad that I got out. I went shopping. It really made me happy to buy those things at Isto, that shop. Like, there were other things that I wanted to buy, but I was holding back because, as I said, it doesn't really make sense to be buying merino wool sweaters at the moment when it was 90 degrees today. And, you know, I just feel like today was a kind of a typical Sunday for me. Sundays are always a little bit melancholy because, as I said, I don't really know what to do on a Sunday, so I really like to try to be with people if possible. But a lot of times in Lisbon, people are recovering on Sundays from their night out of partying, and that's kind of what I was doing today as well. So I'm gonna make my dinner and just have a really very chill, relaxing evening at home in front of the TV, and then we'll go to sleep early tonight so that I can be back on a normal schedule tomorrow. And you know, this is what life is like here for me in Lisbon. It's very different from what my life was like in Bali, in the sense that I'm actually doing a lot more things for myself and, you know, spending time with friends and recovering from going out, which is something I never did in Bali. So I'm happy. You know, I'm mostly quite content with my life here, and, you know, the enjoyment of little things, of cooking for myself, doing my errands, things that, as again, like, that make up most regular people's lives, but things that I never did in Bali, and not really in Thailand and not in Mexico. So all new experiences for me. And that's it. Because my mind is about running on 10% battery and I don't have too much else to say, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for following along. And until the next time, take care and I'll see you later.